In the small, isolated town of Blackwood, nestled deep within a dense ancient forest, a chilling legend had cast a shadow over its inhabitants for generations. They whispered about the Blackwood Manor, an imposing, decaying mansion that loomed at the edge of the forest. It was said to be haunted, cursed by something malevolent, something that hungered for the living. Few dared to approach the place, let alone set foot inside. In the center of this town, there lived a young woman named Emily. She was known for her adventurous spirit, and she was undaunted by the tales circulated about Blackwood Manor. In fact, the stories intrigued her, and she couldn't resist the temptation to explore the decaying mansion that had captured her imagination since childhood. Emily was determined to uncover the truth about the old place and prove that the legends were nothing more than a product of the town's overactive imagination. One moonless night, Emily gathered her courage and, equipped with a dimly lit lantern and an old journal, she ventured into the forest. The dense trees seemed to close in around her as she made her way toward the looming silhouette of Blackwood Manor. The air grew colder, and the silence was oppressive, broken only by the distant hoot of an owl. Emily reached the mansion's massive iron gates, their rusty hinges cracking in protest. As she pushed them open, the house, once a grand estate, was now a dark and decrepit shell of its former self. Vines crawled up its walls, and shattered windows stared blankly into the night. Inside, the atmosphere was oppressive, and the air smelled musty and damp. Cobwebs stretched across every corner, and dust danced in the dim light of Emily's lantern. She felt a strange sensation, a heaviness in the air that seemed to press upon the chest. Unfazed, she ventured deeper in the mansion, her footsteps echoing through the empty hallways. As she explored, Emily couldn't help but feel watched as though a pair of unseen eyes followed her every move. She reached a room at the end of a long corridor. The door was slightly ajar, and as she pushed it open, a chilling swept through, extinguishing her lantern. Emily was plunged into darkness. With trembling hands, she fumbled to relight the lantern, and when she finally succeeded, she gasped in horror. The room was unlike anything she had ever seen before. The walls were covered in strange, disturbing symbols, and the floor was smeared with grotesque, blood-stained sigils. A circle of candles illuminated eerie shadows on the walls. Emily's heart raced as she realized that she had stumbled upon a dark, sacrificial chamber. Her unease deepened, and she turned a leaf, but the door had vanished, replaced by a solid wall. Panic set in, and she was trapped. Desperation gripped her as she pounded on the walls and screamed for help. The candles flickered ominously, and the symbols on the walls seemed to writhe and pulse with a malevolent energy. The room was alive with dark forces, and Emily was their unwitting prisoner. Hours turned into days, and Emily's strength waned. She could feel a malevolent presence lurking in the shadows, a presence that fed on her fear and despair. In her journal, she chronicled her experiences, her trembling handwriting detailing her descent into madness. The room seemed to warp and shift, and Emily's sense of time became distorted. She saw horrifying apparitions, heard whispers that mocked her, and threatened unspeakable horrors. She couldn't tell if they were real or mere hallucinations. Then, on the brink of hopelessness, a voice from the shadows whispered, "Emily, the only way to escape is to embrace the darkness." Torn between her desperation and the instinct for self-preservation, she hesitated. But the malevolent presence grew stranger, its influence more insistent. With a shuddering breath, Emily began to chant the sinister incantations inscribed on the walls, and the room responded, shifting and distorting. The walls themselves seemed to bleed, and the symbols glowed with an unholy light. As she continued to chant, the room unraveled. As she continued to chant, the room unraveled, revealing a passage leading to freedom. With the last of her strength, Emily crawled through the opening, emerging into the night. She had escaped the horrors of Blackwood Manor, but she carried the darkness within her. The town of Blackwood would forever bear the curse of the malevolent presence, now freed from the mansion's confines. And so the legend of Blackwood Manor endured, a testament to the sinister forces that lurked into the darkness. And so the legend of Blackwood Manor endured, a testament to the sinister forces that lurked in the darkest corners of the world, waiting for the curious and the fearless to uncover their malevolence.